sign or my wall. All right. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Gail. Today is Chair Tai Chi. Yes, it's great for dealing with stuff with the back. And again, if you need to stand on some of our postures instead of staying seated on the chair, that's cool. There are some postures though that lend to be seated on the chair, and we'll just do what we can with what we got. So let's begin with a bow. We're going to take that right fist, that's the sun, and that flat left palm, and that's the moon. And then we bow down to one another to start our Chair Tai Chi class today. Welcome. Today is about a 60-minute class, give or take 5 minutes on either side. You need to leave early. Be sure to hit the pain and distress survey or in the email I sent out earlier. Let's start with the breathing. So find your belly button, and then we take 2 finger widths near the palm below that belly button, and then take your finger out of your belly button and go below. And so that is the middle of your collection center, your life energy, called the Tian or the Danjan, if you're doing the Korean word for it, or Tan, depending on what modality that you practice. We're going to take the center of our palm, place it there, and then place another hand on top. So why are we doing this? So we're trying to bring awareness to the low belly. As we breathe in, we expand the belly out, like when we were babies. This is baby belly breathing, when we had all of our internal spirits still with us. And then we exhale, let the belly fall towards the spine, or let it just kind of naturally collapse. So let's try that. It may seem a little strange because it's not our normal breathing, yeah? So here we go. Let's breathe in, expand the belly as if you're pumping up a balloon. And then exhale, draw your belly button towards your spine. You may make a little sound in the back of the throat as you breathe in. Relax those shoulders. And exhaling. Now, if you hear that sound in the back of the throat, that's called the Ujjayi breath in yoga, just in case you knew what that was, and now you do know. So let's do that again. Breathe in, belly big. And exhaling. One more time. Breathing in. And exhaling. Beautiful. Let's do our Atlas point rotation. So this helps with softening the muscles around the neck and the shoulders. You take your nose and you draw a circle. Now, if you tend to get vertigo when you're doing these neck circles, what you can do is have your eyeballs look forward as you're doing this. You get a little extra eye exercise when that happens. And you might be hearing some little snap, crackle, pops happening as you do this. That's completely normal. Hopefully it's not a painful thing. It's just a noisy thing. I get it more here on this right side than I do the left. I have no idea why. Then we're going to completely stop and then go the other direction. So draw your nose circles, your Atlas point rotation at the top of the spine, inserts into the head. That's the Atlas point. That's kind of why it's called this. And again, if this makes you feel dizzy, doesn't feel good in the body, don't do it. Do less. Have your eyes be focused to the center and not following the shape of the circle. One more time, all the way around. Then bring it back to the center. Very good. We're going to take our palms together, and you can optionally hook the thumbs. It's whatever you want to do, yeah? And I try to have my arms parallel to the floor. Sometimes I drop down. That's okay. All right, do what you can with what you got. And again, we're going to coordinate our breath with our movement to lessen the stress hormone cortisol. So let's breathe in, expand that belly. And as we exhale, draw that belly button towards the spine. Push hands one direction, turn your head gently the other. Don't go to the pain area. Just kind of go within your own range of motion. Stay here, breathe in. Exhale back to the center. Let's do that again. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, push it away. Ooh, did you turn more on this side? Maybe. Again, breathe in, belly big. Exhale back to the center. Let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. It's called the finishing breath. Finishing breath means we pull down the energy from the heavens up above, pull it down as if your hands are on top of a ball, and bring it back down to your elixir center, your Dantian, your collection center. And let's do that again. Breathe in. Nice slow breath. Exhale. I have noticed my left shoulder's talking today. So you know what we need to do? We need to do a little bit of calf pumping. Let's bring a heel out to the side and rest on the back of the heel, and then invite the toes to go towards you. Woo! Your calf might feel a little squeezy, a little tight. And then let's point it away. And then we're going to pump. So we're going to bring it towards you and away. So this returns your blood flow from your lower extremities back to your heart. It lowers your blood glucose. You can do this after dinner. If you can't do that quick little walk to reduce that blood sugar that goes, in your system as opposed to going through your muscles, the gastroc muscle, that's a good one for absorbing the excess sugars that are in our system. Also good for ankle articulation and for being able to walk better. And then let's bring it in. Now, if that felt kind of spicy with the leg extended with, super straight, you can always bend the knee a little bit. Let's do the other side. I'm going to wiggle my leg out there and then bite your toes towards you. Now, I'm sitting kind of on the edge of my chair because if my behind was a little bit more back, it'd feel a little strange on my behind and then the upper back of my leg. Point it away. You might hear some snap, crackle, pops when you point and flex. Just know that might happen, okay? And in fact, let's do that. Let's get that calf pump going. So again, we're just resting our leg weight on the floor, doing that calf pump. We'll probably do a calf pump a little bit later on too, but it'll be in the air when we do a little bit more stuff for our ankles. Woo! Couple more. Very good. And bring it in. Let's kind of roll those shoulders. And then reverse roll or go the other way. Nice. And shrug the shoulders towards your ears. Make it feel funny. Squeeze the armpits. And then release it down. That's strengthening the upper back musculature when you do that. And again, kind of lessening the dowager's hump. Squeeze the shoulders. Squeeze the armpits. Shake your arms. Make it feel weird. Or make it look weird. And then release it down. Let's do that one more time. Here we go. Shoulders towards the ears. Squeeze. Voice cracking. And release. Just kind of alternate here. That also is a little lymphatic pump. When you do the little shoulder shrugs, you're going at your own speed. It may be way different than what mine is. All right, let's bring more blood flow to the brain while we're here. Why not? We're going to do what's called spread the feathers. So I'm trying to have it here in front of my black shirt. You spread the fingers out like really super wide. So those are your feathers. Then you're going to take your hand out to the side of the side of your body, and then lower your arm a little bit, and then turn the thumb to the back of the room. So you should feel activation of your extended arm. Now, opposite ear, let's try to drop it towards our shoulder, and then you're going to feel that kind of stretch happening on the extended arm side. And we're going to add on to this. Let's take the chin, turn it towards the shoulder. Always keep it between easy and out. Now with this chin that's towards the shoulder, let's tilt the chin to where we are looking where the wall meets the ceiling. So a little bit up. Then we're going to take that chin and draw a half circle or a smile. So what we'll do is bring the chin towards the chest and then towards that extended arm side and release. Woo! Let's do the other side again. Spread out the hand nice and wide. Bring the arm out to the side, lower the arm a little bit, then turn that thumb to activate the different meridians in the body when you do that. So you're going to feel a little contraction energy going on. Take your opposite ear, drop it towards your shoulder. Now, sometimes the hand off the leg makes it a little bit more deep into the pose. Just do what you like to do here, okay? And then we're going to take our chin, turn it towards the shoulder. Notice what you notice. You may, notice differences one side versus the other. You may not. Then we're going to take that chin, tilt it to where we're going to be looking where the wall meets the ceiling. So maybe it's a big tilt, maybe it's a small tilt. And then we're going to take that chin and draw a half circle or a smile. So bring it down towards your chest and then towards the extended arm side and release. Woo! We're going to cup the hands and toss the arms. And you may be hearing some little clankety clank business going on with the shoulders. So this kind of lubricates the joints in the shoulders, in the elbows, not much for the wrist at this point. Let's tap the top of the shoulders. We get a little extra elbow bend in the equation. Woo. Let's do 3 more. This is 3, 2, and 1. Very good. And just kind of let those arms dangle a little bit. Place one hand on your leg, maybe feet a little wide. Let's inhale, circle, sweep an arm up. And then exhale, turn the palm away, bring it back behind you. This is called the o'clock. You may have to turn your chest a little bit when you do this. And again, breathe in, up, 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 up. Turn the palm away, exhale for the o'clock. Again, breathe in, up, up, up it goes. Turn the palm away, exhale back behind you. Woo. One more time on this side. Here we go. Breathe in, up, up, up. Turn it away, exhale. Beautiful. Shoulder shrug in between just to kind of lose that little muscle memory that builds up there a little bit, that tension. And let's do the other side. Hand down beside your body. Let's do the o'clock on the other side. So let's inhaling up, up, up. Turn the palm away, exhale. Again, breathe in. Turn the palm away, exhale. You may feel one side more open than the other in those lungs. Inhaling up. Turn the palm away, exhale. One more time. Here we go. Breathe in. Turn that palm away, exhale. Let's do that finishing breath right here. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then pull down the energy from the heaven back down to the Dantian. Very good. From here, let's circle it in. Let's go ahead and do parry. And I'm shifting my weight from one bun to the other. Your circle can be way big or not, okay? I'm just thinking of my coffee table, how I'm getting all the nooks and crannies clean with my little dust rag there. And you may notice air escaping, which means you may have some burps going on when you do some of these Tai Chi movements. And then pause, and then let's wipe it out. So it's the other direction. If you were wiping it out before, now you're wiping it in. So you're going the other way, okay? And yeah, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich right before we started. And I'm tasting it again. Oh my gosh, okay. All right, now let's wipe the windows. So bring it to where you're wiping the windows out. There is a method to this madness today, I guarantee it. And then we're going to pause and then wipe it in. So we're mixing a little chair yoga with our chair Tai Chi class today. If you want a little bit more into the ribs, the upper body musculature, you're going to make fists and bring the elbows and dig them across. Or you can keep doing what you were doing. It's going to help get you deep down into the muscles in between those ribs. And then bring it back on top. Wipe it in. Wipe it in. Make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. Very nice. Let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And bring it down. All right, so one of the chair yoga movements is called cat-cow. We kind of do that in spinal cord breathing. So we'll do that now as preparation for our Piriformis Bounce and our pigeon posture. So remember those cupped hands, but we're going to have it here in front of our chest. In our feet a little wide here at the edge of our chair, if you can manage that. Let's inhale, elbows up, chest forward. And then exhale, curve your spine to the back of the room. Now be cautious, be kind. Now we're in a big pelvic tilt here. So when you come out of it, it might be spicy. Do slower. Inhaling up. Exhale. Try to listen to your breath as you bring it in through the nose. Inhaling up, 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 up. And exhaling. Now let's turn to the side if that's available. Turn to the side, inhaling up. Exhale lower. Over to the other side. Let's go. Here we go. Breathe in. And exhaling. Back to the center. Inhaling up. And let's finish with a finishing breath. Exhale. And then inhale up. And bring down that energy. Very nice. So that was a spinal flexion and extension of the spine. One of the other spinal movements is a seated twist. We're going to go ahead and add that. We're going to do that letter W where we squeeze the upper back musculature. Then from here, feet firm into the floor, hands just kind of wiggling there. We're going to breathe in, belly big. Now with the contracted belly button towards your spine, from your collarbone down to your belly bone, you're going to turn over to the side. Try not to have the legs drop in when we do this. So re-squeeze the outside shoulder if you lost it. And then from here, breathe in, belly big. Exhale back to the center and release the shoulders down. Kind of pump those shoulders a little bit up and down. Sometimes when we really squeeze that upper back musculature, we're not used to that, yeah? All right, so we're going to do that again. Go back to squeezing the shoulders and letter W with the arms and breathe in, belly big. Contract that belly button towards the spine. Let's turn over to the other side. Keep the legs steady. Ooh, it turned more. And from here, breathe in, belly big, really squeeze the shoulders. And then exhale back to the center. You know what? Let's do hands on the knees and do a sweet curve of the spine to the back of the room. Your little cat pose. And then come up to neutral spine. You're coming out of that pelvic tilt. Be sweet, be kind. We're going to hinge forward. So this is part of what we do in our piriformis or pigeon posture, where we hinge forward. Forward fold, also known as cow, portion of the cat-cow. Go back to neutral spine. Let's do one more cat to the back of the chair. Curve, curve, curve. Hang on. And then come out of that pelvic tilt to neutral spine. And then let's hinge forward. I bring my elbows out and I kind of draw myself forward when I do that. Very good. And release. Excellent. Let's stomp the feet. And then shake the legs. Very nice. We're going to take our fingertips underneath our knee or interlace the fingers on top of the shin and lean back. So when I do this with the hands on the shin, I'm leaning back into the chair when I do this. I'm also kind of, holding it more in towards my body if I'm doing it back underneath the knee. So you kind of figure out which one fits you better today. I'm going to try to do the shin. I'm not sure if it's going to work though. And again, we're going to point and flex. And if you have your hands interlaced here on the near the knee area, you're going to feel the muscle that's in the front of the leg. Yeah. And then we're going to make that point and flex be still. And then we're going to look at the foot and we're going to do a circle inward, the tiniest circle you can manage. And then make it a little bit bigger. Ooh, snap, crackle going on there. And then the biggest circle you can manage here. Now then make it everything still. Kind of shake that leg a little bit, shake that foot. All right, and then reposition, reset yourself. Now we're going to turn and we're going to make the circle go outwards. Again, so this is small motor control that we may or may not have. I don't have it. It's kind of jaggedy. And then make it a little bit more big. Yeah. And then a bigger circle. And release it down. Clap your hands. I'll do that again. Just rub some heat into the palms. Lots of heat here. Now, let's rub this. If you're able to forward fold, let's rub this on our shin, on our calf, on the leg that we just dealt with. Okay, and then, bring it here on our knee. I'm kind of hinged forward to do that. And I'm going to bring my foot forward a little bit and go back behind my knee. I got my thumbs on the side of my knee to help with lessening knee pain. And in fact, let's just do a little bit of tapping. We're doing soft tapping. The gallbladder, the stomach meridian, gut issues, yeah. And then take the fingertips, the pads of the fingers, and circle on that knee to stimulate those acupressure points around the knee. And then take the other hand, go the circle the other way. Or maybe it's the same hand. It works either way. Y'all probably thought I forgot the other side. I have not. We're going to do the other side now. So decide, are you going to do interlace on the shin or back behind the knee? I'm going to do back behind the knee on this one. And then once you're ready, point and flex. Ooh, my foot just did a big old snap, crackle, pop. I was talking, so y'all couldn't hear it. But I could feel it. Oh my gosh. And then make the foot still. Look at your foot. And then you're going to turn it inward. Is this easier to do versus the other one? I don't know. And then make it a little bit bigger. Ooh, got some snaps. And bigger circle. Very good. Now shake the foot a little bit, wiggle it a little bit. Let's do the other side. So we're looking at the foot. We're going to turn it to the outside. So notice your fine motor control of your ability to do this, or maybe inability. I don't know. Make it a little bit bigger. And then a bigger circle. Very good. Let's release it down. Stomp those feet. You can hang on to the back of the chair if you like. Wiggle those legs. And then clap the hands. Get a little heat here. Get a lot of heat. And I'm going to work my foot forward a little bit because I'm going to rub my shin and my calf on the leg that we just dealt with. A little circulation, yeah? And then I'm going to bring it back behind my knee pit. You can have an armpit. You can have a knee pit, yeah? Of course you can. And let's do soft little tap, tap, taps. Let's do a little rub, rub, rub here. I don't know if we did that on the other side. I can't remember. Oh, well. And then come up on the pads of the fingers to stimulate those acupressure points. And then take the other hand, go the other direction. Okay, very good. So because we're doing Piriformis Bounce and Pigeon, we may not have the gear that we need. So for some folks, let me think here. Do we need the gear when we're seated? Probably not. So there's options here. You can cross the leg on top of the ankle. That's one version of what we're doing here. And if you're doing this version, you take your hand and wiggle your leg. So what we're trying to do is warm up that piriformis muscle. Sometimes the sciatica is through the piriformis on the edge or in that pelvic notch, or maybe somewhere in our spine, getting all nervy and pinchy and agitated, yeah? Well, yeah. And then the other version of this, instead of being just crossed at the ankle, is if it's available, you'd slide it on top of the thigh. Now make sure that ankle is past the thigh, because it's going to be knobbing you otherwise. And for that one, you lift it up and you let it release. Or you take one hand on top, one hand on bottom, and just kind of do a little wiggle here. So again, this is for sciatica. This is for that numbness, that shooty pain down the leg, which can kind of move from one place to the other because it's a pinched nerve somewhere in your body. All right, so from here, we're going to be nice and still. So I'm going to show this version first, and then we'll cross at the ankle version next. We're going to activate the calves, so we're pointing the toes towards our knee. We're sitting up tall, because sometimes we don't sit up tall in this. This may be all you need to do. Now I'm going to turn sideways so you can I can show you how far I actually hinge forward. So from here, toes towards the knee, squeeze both buns. You have the option of taking the top hand, pressing the leg away. That might be all you need to kind of feel that behind muscle kind of getting activated. Or you sit up tall, hands on the top of the foot, the top of the knee, and you hinge forward. Doesn't take much to feel the spice of this particular pose, okay? Again, now if you're doing the cross at the ankle, you're sitting up, pressing that leg away and hinging forward. Again, it's not going to be quite the same as the leg on top of the thigh. This also can be done on the couch, laying on your back, leg on top of the thigh. They call it the number 4 pose, opposite leg on the knee. If you go to physical therapy for sciatica, this is often what they prescribe to you. And yoga and Chair Tai Chi, it's Piriformis Bounce and Pigeon Pose. And release. Woo! Bring it back, and we're just going to shake the legs to release that tension that kind of builds up in this, what I like to call spicy pose, okay? Now, when you're in a spicy pose, kind of walk those feet a little bit. You need to redirect your attention to your breath. In other words, it's got some sensation going on here that maybe not so nice. You listen to the breath as it goes in through the nose and out through the nose. Sometimes it allows you to stay in a posture. Sometimes it doesn't help any at all. So do what you can, okay? All right, from here, wow. What we're going to do is clap the hands and get some heat, because that may have been like a little too much. I'm just putting that out there. It might be. We're going to take the warm hand, rub on top of the thigh and your side hip musculature, okay? Because that may be where you need it right now. Okay. Now, if you want to transfer that back behind you, maybe hinge a little bit, still do the leg, still do the behind. I don't know. I can't tap and rub at the same time. What do they say? Tap your head and rub your stomach. Yeah, that's like Mission Impossible. Yeah. All right. And then shake those hands. They've been doing a lot of stuff here. And then spin the wrists. We're going to do the other side. Don't think I'm going to leave it out. I'm not going to leave it out. Reverse. We're just trying to incorporate a few different things here upon request. And I do like to take requests if I can incorporate them. Yeah. All right. And let's do where we flutter the hands up, out to the side, palms up for that carpal tunnel, palms down. Let's do one arm opposite. Just swing the arms. This is nice and slow. Very good. And just kind of make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. We got to do all of that pigeon stuff on the other side. Okay, so you decide what you're going to do. Are you going to do crossed at the ankle? Are you going to do it on top of the thigh? You can do whichever one it is. I'm going to try to do crossed at the ankle this time. So I'm bouncing the piriformis. Actually, I'm going to move this on top of the leg. Again, my ankle past that thigh. Now, I don't get as much range of motion when that leg is on top of the thigh. So maybe, what if we wiggle here at the ankle? This is a little experiment we're running right here, okay? Because, we get a little more range of motion with it being lower. Now, again, if it's available, slide it on top. Now, the knee may be way up in the air. And that's just how it is, okay? Toes point towards the knee, sit up tall. And again, that may be all you need right there. But whether it's here, whether you're hinged forward, where you're pressing down on that top leg, woo! You might be feeling some conversation going on with the behind, yeah? So I invite you to breathe. Listen to the breath. Here we go. Breathe in through the nose. Listen to it. And then exhale, let it go out. Let's do that again, while we're toes towards the knee, calf contracted, pushing the hand away, squeeze both bones, hinge forward if that's available. Breathe. We're going to do one more breath. Here we go. Breathe in. Beautiful. Come out of that, wiggle that leg, back wiggle both legs, stomp those feet, wiggle the legs again. Very good. Let's clap the hands. We got to rub it out. To the hip, to the thigh. Here we go. Anytime we kind of do a spicy area, this is a nice little extra benefit you can do. And maybe move it to the behind, back behind you behind. Okay, shake those legs, stomp those legs, shake those calves. Very nice. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Let's do heart blood pressure technique. Bring the back of the hands down. And then you're going to take your thumbs into your palms, fingers on top of the thumbs, and inhale, elbows back, chest forward. And then exhale, turn the hands out to the side. Very good. And then inhaling, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, bring it down, the heart center. Grab those thumbs. Inhale, elbows back, chest forward, squeeze those back muscles. Exhale, arms out to the side. Again, inhaling up. Exhale, bring it down. Arms out to the side, grab those thumbs, inhale up, elbows back. And let's finish with a finishing breath. Exhale, arms out to the side. And here comes the finishing breath. Inhaling up, exhale, lower. All right, now we're going to do some standing chair Tai Chi postures today. If you wish to stay seated, please stay seated. So this is part of Chair Tai Chi walking. Let me see where this will best be. This is probably best if I'm over here on this side. Okay, let me move that over a little bit so you can see me in the white space in the camera. So this is going to activate the muscles around the sciatica area. Okay, so this is one of the reasons we're going to do this today. So we have our toes pointing forward, our chair pointing forward, and what we're going to do is turn our bodies towards the chair. So I'm not sure what angle that is, but you're turned towards the chair. Then you have it to where you can hang on with your hand either on the chair or on the wall, whatever's available. And we're going to bend both knees. Very good. And take that tailbone, tuck it under. Very good. Hand on the chair. And then what's called the 3-point stepping drill. So we're anchoring the leg next to the chair. We're going to bring the other foot forward. We're resting on the back of the heel. So we're not trying to shift our weight forward when we do this. We're just bringing the leg out its natural distance to where we're not shifting the weight. And here's 1 point. And then we bring it back to the ankle. We're not doing any weight bearing on the leg on the outside. Then we slide it out to the side. So really activating the hip musculature when we do these. And then bring it back. Now we're going to point it back behind us. Point it back behind you at an angle. You may feel that little opening up of the psoas, iliopsoas muscle when you do that. And then come back. Unbend, straighten up, walk in place a little bit, kind of get out of what we were just in. But we're going to do this 2 more times. So again, pointing the toes towards the corner of the chair, maybe hiking up your pants if you need to. Bend the knees, tuck that tailbone under, hand on the chair, hand on the wall. Now we're going to step forward, back of the heel resting on the floor, kind of like when we did point and flex. Bring it back to the ankle. Bring it out to the side, back to the ankle. Bring it back behind you, point that toe, squeeze that bun, bring it back behind you. Now don't come out of it, keep the knees bent. Let's do it again. Heel to the front, to the ankle, out to the side, to the ankle, back behind you, to the ankle, come out of it. All right, so that leg that's closest to the chair, I'm going to step forward a little bit. Let's swing that leg. Swing the tension gently out of the hip. So when Allison teaches this class, my master trainer, so she sometimes incorporates the standing postures that you do with the chair, like a chair assist, chair Tai Chi. So we're just adding that today to add a little variety, plus address some of the sciatica issues. All right, from here, with standing beside your chair, I invite you just to kind of shake the legs and hang on to the chair if you need to. And then lift a knee up, flex the foot. Good. Good for your balance, good for your walking ability. Very good. Now we're going to go over to the other side of the chair. So again, I'm going to shift this over so we can see this in the camera. See me doing this? Okay, so we have toes pointing forward to begin with, and I'm going to turn towards the chair. So I've got a little angle going on here. I'm pretty close. Bend both knees, take my behind, tuck it under. All right, so I'm kind of opening up my spine also, which might have a pinchy, nervy thing going on. If you were having your booty flared out, it probably still is pinched. So we're kind of opening up the spine by tucking, rolling it under. Might feel a little weird. All right, hang on to the chair. We're going to take that outside leg forward. So again, it takes a little adjustment here. Resting on the back of the heel, toes up, bring it to the ankle. Out to the side, back to the ankle. Back behind me, pointing the toe. My knee's bent a little bit. Back to the ankle. Come out of it. Again, just kind of walk in place. Shake the legs. Now let's do that again. Again, we're turning towards the chair. We're going to try to do 2 in a row just because, you know, we did that on the other side, all right? So again, bend the knees, take that tailbone, tuck it under, very good, and then root your weight onto the leg closest to the chair. We're going to do back of the heel, toes up, back to the ankle, out to the side, feel that little squeeze of the behind when you do that, back to the ankle, back behind you, opening up those muscles in the front part of your hip, back to the ankle. Stay low, do it again. Heel down, toe up, to the ankle, out to the side, to the ankle, back behind you, to the ankle. All right, so from here, come out of the pose, kind of march in place, do the flexed heels, do the shaky legs. And again, I'm going to move my chair forward so I don't hit the wall. The leg closest to the chair, swing that leg to release some tension that might be held. Or if you need to, you can be at the wall and do the same thing. Okay, just know that. That's, you know, another way to do this. Same kind of mechanism. Okay, very good. Now, I invite you to stand behind your chair. And Let me show you the feet first. So this is kind of cagey. So they're almost together, but they're not. They're very close. So they're closer than hip distance apart. So this is Chair Tai Chi's version of tree pose. What I'm going to do is stand behind the chair because what we're trying to do is lead with the head to do a circle. So you're really kind of working your body systems, your, what do they call that? Proprioception. I'm sure I'm not saying that word correctly. How you are in the space around you. It's a very subtle move. So the willow bends with the wind. So we're trying to be like a willow tree. Now let's stop and we're going to try to go the other way. Here we go. So feel what feels better for you. Oof. I feel stiff on this side. And then one more. All right, we're going to do one more standing posture again to address sciatica. I'm going to turn my chair sideways for this one. And we've done this in our let's see, our fall prevention class. So basically, we're stepping a leg back and then we're landing on that back heel. Then the leg that's closest to the chair, I'm going to hop it a little bit closer to the chair and then bend the knee. So back heel firm into the floor. And I got my hand there a little bit. And then we're going to raise the opposite. Whatever leg you stepped back, raise your opposite arm up. So there's a little back bend going on here. And then release it down. Then we're going to take that back foot, step it forward, step the other foot back. So step the other foot back, lay down on that heel, bend the knee that's closest to the chair. So you feel that little calf contraction, or maybe not so little calf contraction, little behind squeeze, a little activation of that quadricep. Opposite hand of whatever leg is stepped back goes up. You can also hang onto the wall. So again, this is a little bit of a back bend going on here. Oppositional reach. Addressing some of the issues that may be going on with the spine, with the area in the pelvic bones. And release. Take that back foot, step it forward. From here, let's do a standing cat posture. So fingertips on the wall, maybe step back just a little bit, and then curve your spine. So make it a kind of feel like you're peeling your muscles away from your spine. And then standing back bend or cow pose, you take fists or your palms, place them on your top of your behind, your mid back, other one there. And you think about your hip bones, push your hip bones forward so you're squeezing the glutes, and then take your chest and kind of lift it to where the wall meets the ceiling while supporting the hands here on the back for your standing back bend. Very good. And from here, we're going to go over that sequence once again that we just did. So we're standing at the top of the chair, stepping the leg back, and then stepping it back some more. And I'm going to lay down on that heel. So I'm already bending the forward knee. I'm going to bend it a whole lot more. And what I'm trying to do is not like lean forward, but be up and down from my shoulders to my hip bone. And then raise that opposite arm up and down. But what I'm going to do now is squeeze both bones, take that back heel, lift it, and bend the knee towards the chair. So there's a little strength building going on here, a little activation and release. Walk in place. Bring the leg out to the side, bring the other leg out to the side. We're going to do the other side. So step the foot back, and then step it back some more, and then lay down on the heel, bend the knee closest to the chair, be tall from your shoulder to your hip. Okay, very good. Opposite hand goes up. Woo! And then bring that hand down. Now we're going to lift the back heel up and then bend that back knee. You're kind of tucking and rolling the tailbone under. You can raise the opposite hand up. Please do so. If you want to hang on to the chair, that works too. And release. Step it forward. And once again, let's just kind of shake the legs. Shake the legs forward a little bit. Shake them back behind you, little booty kick. All right, now let's go back to Piriformis Bounce. So let's go back to sitting in our chair. Take the leg across the ankle and just kind of shake that leg a little bit. And then, if it's available, bring the leg up on the thigh or sit here and hinge forward. So you get to choose. Choose what you need to do. Something might feel a little bit more open. You might be able to hinge a little bit more. It may be still the same level of spice, but it might feel a little different. Might. And release. Take your hands on that leg that we just did and kind of rub the side of the knees up and down the side of the legs, down the side of the leg. And let's do the other side again. Let's bounce a little bit here across the ankle. And just kind of feel what you feel here. Oh, my cat's getting spicy here. You may see my cat in just a moment. I don't know. And then, do you need to be here as you hinge forward? Or maybe you can do this on top of your thigh and hinge forward. Woo! Again, breathe. Excellent. From here, hinge forward a little bit on your chair. Clap your hands. And then what I invite you to do is to pound with the side of the hands down the side of the leg. Bring it on the inside. On top. Now, it's not strenuous, okay? Underneath. It's a little bit different than the tapping, all right? Other side. Now take your back of your hands or your palms. Tap your booty. And go up that back a little bit. Let's bring our feet wide. Take the side of the hands. Chop the quad. That's for that lymphatic drainage. Chop the belly. Chop underneath the ribs. Go to the side. Go to the other side. Very good. And then once again, let's take a little fist or open palm. Get the shoulder. Tilt your head a little bit. Maybe get a good little tap, tap, tap here. Let's go over to the other side. Again, a fist or a palm. Whatever you can manage. Tilt your head. Very good. From here, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bring down the chi. Now from here, we're going to have it here low on the belly, but we're going to bring it here in front of our chest. Elbows down, fingers kind of aligned with one another. It's called the Tai Chi ball. We're forming, called the mother forms. I invite you to inhale, open up. Belly is big. Exhale, belly button tight. Bring it in. Let's do that again. Inhale like you're dragging taffy apart. Exhale, float it in. Relax those shoulders. From here, we're going to turn over to one side. It's called turning from the quad. From here, bring a hand down, palm down, other hand facing you. And from your collarbone to your belly bone, you're going to turn across your body. It's called cloud hands or silk reeling. And then once you get over to the other side, you're switching. Hand towards you, hand pointing down towards the floor. And then bring it across. So your entire torso is moving, driving the movement. Now, once you get over to the other side, hand on the bottom comes up, hand on the top comes down, palm facing your kind of your heart center, yeah? And then bring it across. Switch the hands, bringing it across. Nice, smooth movement. Nothing jaggedy about this. Try to twist a little bit more if it's available in your body. If not, that's okay too. You want to try to coordinate this with your breath, please do so. I can't talk and coordinate that at the same time. So I'm just trying to get y'all through the posture here. Again, switch the hands. You run out of breath, do your next breath, okay? Let's do one more all the way across. Flip the hands, and then one more all the way back the other direction. Very nice. And then we're going to bring it back to the center. So go ahead and switch the hands and bring it back to the center. Now from here, imagine you have a little ball in between your hands. So you're forming a little circle here, and we're bringing the ball outwards and towards us. So you try to keep a little bend in the elbows as you're doing this. Now we're going to turn from the qua over to the other side. So this is the yang fire energy. We're stimulating those internal organs, the pancreas, the gallbladder, the liver, the kidneys. Bring it back to the center. And then twist over to the other side. Twist, twist, twist. Keep the legs nice and firm. So now the rest of them, what is it? Large intestine, small intestine, ascending, descending colon. And then bring it back to the center. So we're bringing it towards us and away. Now come back to the heart center. Stay here. You might feel some sensation going on in the hands. Now bring it down and away. So now we're doing the yin, the wind path, the nourishing path, the water path. See if it feels a little different. It may. And then turn over to the side. Twist, twist, twist. So we're doing the vertical circulation now. Bring it back to the center. You're going at your own perfect pace today, okay? And then let's twist over to the other side. Maybe you're twisting more, maybe you're not. Notice what you notice. And then bring it back to the center. Make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. From here, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And bring it down. Let's do swallow flies to the nest. So we're going to bring a hand out to the side and inhale, bring it across. Stretch that side body. Exhale out to the side. Inhale up and over. Here's your side lateral flexion in yoga. And then exhale, bring it down. And then come back to the center. Let's do the other side. So here we go. Bring it across. Breathe in. Stretch that side body. Exhale out to the side. Inhale up and over. Stretch it, stretch it, stretch it. And then bring it down and back to the center. Let's do it with the poem, and we'll end it. Swallow flies east. Bring it across. Swallow flies west, bring it out. Swallow flies up and over, kind of hangs out here, and then falls to its nest and back to the center. Other side, last time. Swallow flies east, does not know directions. Swallow flies west. Swallow flies up and over, hangs out here just a little bit, and falls to its nest. Let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bring down the chi. Bring those insides of the feet together, and let's just do a little bit of jitterbug. So let's heel toe over to the side and the upper body twisting if it's available. Take your move. It's nice and calm and maybe needs to go a little slower. Just kind of notice what you notice here and bring it back to the center. Let's go one more over to one side. And then back to the other side. Join me to the center. And then we'll independently have the heels out, toes in, and then let's walk the feet out. Again, kind of feel the floor with your feet or with your shoes. Bring them in. And then all the way out. And then all the way in. Very good. Once again, kind of stomp those feet. Shake the legs. And I'm going to come up a little bit closer now. All right, once again, let's clap our hands. Get some heat here. And from here, took off my glasses. Let's tap our head on like the mohawk area. And then bring it on the sides of the head. Get a little bit more brain power here. Then take your pinkies, find the edges of your nostrils, or the sides of your nose, press in and press outward to open up the sinus cavities. One more breath. Now take the index fingers, just place them here on the edge of your eyebrows or that eyebrow ridge, and press down, and like you're trying to spread them to the edge of your head, you just press down and away. Couple of breaths. One more. Now, if you have fingernails, this might be tough, but we're going to try to do the pads of the fingers and tap the eyebrows. Then move the tapping of the eyebrows up the forehead to the hairline, and then take it to the tops of the ears, back behind the ears, and then spread out your fingers, stroke down either side in front and back of the ears, down the side of the neck. And you can go down the jawline also, so you can alternate the neck, the jawline. And we just kind of cursory went over this before, but you can take your fingertips and thump your thymus for increased T cell production. Improve your immunity. I'm actually doing my middle finger and my third finger. Or was it my fourth finger? I don't know, my ring finger and my middle finger. You can alternate if you like. And then take the hands, spread them out, go above and below your collarbone, just kind of stroke across or tap gently. So this is part of the lymphatic drainage. Kind of going in a reverse order today. Let's do the other side, tap, 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 or stroke across. You'll see different opinions on how you're supposed to do this. Generally, if you're not doing too hard, it's, the lighter, the better. And fingertips into the armpits, and get that thumb here in that front area also. So just kind of a little circular movement. Some people will do a little light tap. Some people will take the side of the hand and pound a little bit. Let's do the other side again, kind of rub scrub in there. And again, that thumb into the pectorals there also. And again, if you want to do a little tapping, you want to do a little thumping, that works too. And while we're here, let's do the sides of the pinkies for lessening headaches and vertigo. So it's not, again, whap, it's a light tap. So these are some of our hand tapping, hand exercises that we do in Chair Tai Chi. And then let's do the interwebs of the thumbs for digestive disorders, for nausea, easing of nausea. And then however you have it, switch it so you can get extra time. This is just like a little sampler that we're doing. Typically we do this a minute each area. The next is the interwebs of the fingers, which is, may think here, pain or numbness in the limbs. So we're going to interlace and tap in those little valley areas. Now, there's another method that you can also do besides the tapping. It's called using the same hand configuration. It's rubbing the insides and the outsides of the fingers, and that stimulates even more meridians in the body. And then we're going to wiggle the top finger and switch the other finger to be on top. And we're going to go back to tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. And since we have it in a new hand configuration, go ahead and do the scrubs. The scrubs. That's what I'm calling it. The next place is the pulse points of the wrist, and that's for heart and cardiovascular issues. So some folks will do that like this, but I like to do that up and down because then we get to flip it and do it a little bit longer. That's what I like. Now let's flip it. Sound effects are optional. Actually, I think the next one is my favorite. The back of the hand, that's for osteoarthritis for back pain. So again, kind of like we did when we threw the arms with the cupped hands or the spinal cord breathing, cup the hands and tap on top of the back of the hands. Now, if you've got rings, you're going to curve it a little bit so you're not, hitting a hard metal part on the back of your hand. Let's do the other one, cup it. Again, I got my ring on that side, so I'm turning it a little bit more. So the back of the wrist is for neck and shoulder pain. So you shift it here to the back of the wrist. Same kind of cupped movement, okay? And the other side. Oops, there goes my glasses. And then you make a little fist and you punch your palm. So this has a little bit of vigor to it, okay? Because you're kind of noticing your strength, right? That's for stress, anxiety, improved clarity, consciousness. Let's do the other side. This is my less strong side. I noticed that right off the bat. So in Veterans Yoga Project, we do breathing, mindful movement, meditation, guided rest, relaxation, and gratitude practice. So part of what we do in Chair Tai Chi, when we coordinate movement with the breathing, that's considered to be a meditative state. It also helps to reduce the cortisol in our body. So we've kind of done a lot of that already. But right now we're going to go into the guided rest and relaxation. It's a very short practice. I invite you to stay, but if you do have to leave, you click that link to fill out the survey. So basically what you can do is have the palms resting up on your lap, or maybe you want to place the hands with the shoulders relaxed here on the low belly and then a little bit on the belly. Or maybe you're a heart center type of person. You get to choose what you need to do. Okay, I'm gonna do mine on my belly today. I'm gonna take my eyes and I'm gonna tilt my head towards the floor. So I'm either gazing down at the floor, or maybe if it's available to you, closing the eyes. You get to choose, all right? And we're doing let me think here, what's this called? This is the light healing meditation guided practice. So up here at the very apex of our head is called Governor Vessel number 20. It's an acupressure point. It's where a lot of the meridians converge. It's kind of like the super area in our body. So imagine the hole has opened up. And then as we're thinking about this, it's opening up at the top of the head. And then we have a big array of sunshine coming down, permeating our body. It's bringing in the light, bringing in the healing. It's saturating every cell in our body, every bone, every muscle, every ligament, tendon. If you have a particularly spicy area today, I invite you to think about bringing in that healing light to that area. Just kind of let it warm it up, heal it up. So imagine you're bringing in the light, bring in the healing as if it were already true. Bring in that light. And as you exhale, just think about everything you need to let go of, no longer serves you today, kind of exits out the bottoms of the feet, the back side of the body. So breathe in the light, breathe in the healing. And then as you exhale, let everything go. Let everything just go its own direction that it needs to today. And just be here for a moment and breathe. Now, let's shift our hands to our heart center. Now, again, it can be stacked, our hands together. And I invite you to come away from the back of the chair a little bit to kind of come back into your consciousness here. But from here, let's drop the chin towards the chest. You get a nice little neck stretch there. And let's think about one thing that we might be grateful for, maybe an idea of gratitude. And let's grab it, clasp it, and place it into our heart space. So I appreciate y'all's dedication, determination, and your discipline and your responsibility for signing up for a class, for coming to a class, or maybe watching the video later on, or watching it on repeat. You're contributing to your healing, self-healing journey. So I applaud you. I honor you for coming today. Thank you so much. And then let's lift our eyes, our head to gaze forward as we end our class traditionally. So we'll take that right fist, that's the sun, and that flat left palm, that's the moon. And once again, let's bow down to one another in honor of coming to Chair Tai Chi today. This concludes our practice of Chair Tai Chi. I will now stop the recording.